thanks for tuning in to the Irish Racing YouTube channel, back with another episode of Emma's Eyecatchers in association with Tony Bett. And this week's episode, I'm going to be doing a runner-by-runner guide to all of the Irish contenders at this week's Breeders' Cup in Mare. So the first race over the weekend with Irish representation, 9:45 Friday evening to kick us off in the Breeders' Cup. It'll be the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint over the 5 furlongs. 4 Irish runners in here from 3 different yards. First one to talk about, Magnum Force for Ger Lyons and Colin Keane. He won his maiden in Cork back in August, went over to the UK then the last twice. He placed in listed and Group 2 company. Probably have to improve in all known form, but it's very interesting that Ger travels from over here. He's lightly raced and he definitely could improve. Next in then, Arizona Blaze for Adrian Murray and Ammo Racing. Definitely one who showed a real promise, had good quality form early on in his 2-year-old campaign, but has been a bit disappointing the last twice especially. It's going to be his 9th start of the campaign. He's had a long tough year. Could be hard enough for him to bounce back here. Next in then, Whistle Jacket, the first of the Aidan O'Brien pair. This will be the shortest of the Irish runners under Ryan Moore. Already a Group 1 winner as a 2-year-old, but was a bit disappointing last time. His form can come in and out a little bit. He's had a long, tough year. A couple of questions to answer here now, but Ryan Moore stays loyal to him, which will be a plus for Whistle Jacket. Last in then of the Irish runners, the second Aidan O'Brien runner, Ides of March, who I think is a really interesting second string under Wayne Lorden. He's stepping into Group 1 company for the first time here, but he looks really, really quick over these sprint trips. He's got a bit to find on ratings with his stablemate Whistle Jacket, but he looks a really progressive type and could be one who could cause an upset under Wayne Lorden. On to 11:05 then on Friday evening, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf over the mile, and again a really strong Irish representation in here, spearheaded by Lake Victoria from Ballydoyle as well. She's the stable first string, the choice of Ryan Moore, and she's already favoured for next year's 1,000 guineas. She was a Group 1 winner last twice over 6 and 7 furlongs. She is stepping up to the mile for the first time here, but still likely to go off a really short price favourite under Ryan Moore. Next in then, a pair of fillies who know each other really well, Heaven's Gate and Fiery Lucy for Aidan O'Brien and Gavin Cromwell. First up, Heaven's Gate. She's the Ballydoyle second string, but still a live chance under Wayne Lorden. She was a Group 3 winner last time at the Curragh over 7 furlongs, but probably likely to be held by stablemate Lake Victoria still. Then Fiery Lucy is a really, really tough versatile filly for Gavin Cromwell. She'll be ridden by Gary Carroll. She's a good sprinter, but still seemed to stay the mile well at the Curragh earlier on this year. Has definitely got a bit to find with the likes of a Lake Victoria, but could be a good each-way shout at a big price. Moving on then, 2 more Irish juveniles represented on Friday evening at 11:45 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile over the mile on the dirt. Hill Road is a really interesting runner for Adrian Murray. First time on the dirt. He's likely to be a big outsider. He is a dual winner already though. He's by Quality Road, who sired the 2021 winner of this race, Corniche. He is bred to handle the dirt, but it probably looks a big enough ask after a disappointing one in the National Stakes and Irish Champions weekend, but one to keep an eye on. At 12:25 on Friday evening, the last Irish runner in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, Henry Matiste, is the only representative from Ballydoyle, and Ryan Moore takes the ride. He has been a little bit disappointing the last twice, but the form of his Futurity win at the Curragh back in August looks really, really strong now. Second that day, hot as hell. Came out and won a Group 1 for Jessica Harrington last weekend. He has a couple of questions to answer, but could be a dangerous one to underestimate at each way prices. On to Saturday's racing, then it's where it really gets interesting for the Irish contenders when the older horses come out. And the first ones we'll see will be at 9:01 on Saturday evening in the Breeders' Cup Turf over the 1.5 miles. 2 Ballydoyle winners in here, Luxembourg and Wingspan. Luxembourg is first choice under Ryan Moore. Probably sacrificed himself a little bit as a pacemaker in the Irish Champions Stakes last time. Can be a bit hit and miss, but if he's on a going day, he's as good as anything else in here. Next in then, Wingspan, second string under Wayne Lorden. Interesting decision to take on the boys here. She looked to improve massively when stepping up to the 1.5 miles last time in British Champions Day. She gets a weight all around and could be an interesting one at each way prices. Won't have too much time to sit around and reflect after that one. Just 40 minutes later at 9:41 Saturday evening, the Breeders' Cup Classic over the 10 furlongs. City of Troy's Date with Destiny, champion 3-year-old elect. Aidan O'Brien says he's the best he's ever trained. He's coming into this on the back of a dazzling performance in the Juddmonte International at York. Will he handle the dirt is the big question everyone wants to know. If he does, he'll go down in the history book and it'll be a race for the ages for sure. The action for the Irish isn't going to end there though. Not long after 10:25, we've got the Breeders' Cup. Fillies and Mare's Turf over the mile and 3. Unfortunately, Ylang has been scratched from this one, so that leaves Content as the only Ballydoyle representative in here. Frankie Dettori was originally down to ride her, but you'd imagine Ryan Moore might make the switch aboard now. She's definitely failed to fire since she won the Yorkshire Oaks a few starts back. The question mark here might be, will the better ground bring her back to that level of form again? She hasn't seen good to firm since she won in New York that day, so they're probably hoping that the nicer ground here in America might suit her. She does pull very, very hard though, so it'll be interesting to see how she copes with the occasion around the Breeders' Cup. And so the last pair of runners on Breeders' Cup weekend for the Irish will be at 11:45 on Saturday evening in the Breeders' Cup Mile. First in there, we've got Diego Velasquez for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore. I suppose initially he started off his campaign quite well. He was not beaten too far in the French Guineas, but things kind of went a bit wrong for him there. Has got his season back on track these last 2 runs, but this will be a lot tougher for Diego Velasquez. And last but not least, definitely not least, Porta Fortuna shows up as well in the Breeders' Cup Mile for Donegal O'Brien under Tom Marquand. She was a really good second in Santa Anita last year, and since then I suppose she's gone on to kind of prove herself as the top 3-year-old filly in Europe this year. She's been brilliant from start to start. She seemed to improve. Interesting that they had made the decision to take on the boy. She's very, very good over a mile. It'll be probably her toughest ask to date, but she's a filly in the form of her life and will put up a bold show for Donegal O'Brien, no doubt. So that's the Irish team for Breeders' Cup weekend. Plenty of exciting ones to look forward to. Let me know in the comments who you're most looking forward to seeing, and thanks again for tuning in. Make sure and like and subscribe if you enjoy the content.